Good morning my friends and happy Saturday and welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. I hope you're doing well. So the plan for today and over the weekend is to start quilting my beautiful Quilty Trees Christmas quilt. I've got it here on the ironing board. I'm going to give it a really quick press a little bit later on. I've spent most of the morning getting my sewing table decluttered. There was so much stuff on here that just needed to go back in its like designated spots. The other day I got a big package from Spotlight and it is a package of some new batting, and I just want to take this moment to thank the people who have contributed to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Through their help I've been able to buy this big roll of batting which will hopefully last me into the new year and make some beautiful gorgeous quilts. So thank you very much to the people, you know who you are, who have contributed to that page, and I really appreciate it. It really did come in handy to buy my batting. So I'll open it and show you the batting that I've chosen. Hopefully it's the right one. I am trusting that it is. Batting, and this is the one that I've gone for. It's by Legacy and it is the bamboo cotton wadding with scrim, and this is a bolt of about 2.3 by 8.2 meters, which is 90 inches by 9 yards. So just looking at the label, this one is 40% bamboo, 46% cotton and 7% polypropylene scrim. So if you don't know what a scrim is a really lightweight non-woven type layer that is put sort of on top of all of the cotton and bamboo fibers, just so it doesn't fly around and just stops the fibers from going everywhere, and also just keeps the batting sort of together. Really, it's just a layer that you don't really see, but just keeps everything all together. Now I personally love using bamboo batting. I usually like 100% bamboo, but they didn't have any in stock, so I went with the bamboo cotton blend, and I just find that it's nice and warm. It's really quite sort of like silky and just sort of glides through the machine just so nicely. It's just a really nice batting to work with. This one does have a slight sort of loft, so it'll be a little bit more like spongy or bouncy. It's got up to 5% shrinkage, which is really nothing, to be honest. It's dry cleanable. You can wash it by hand or machine, and you can have a distance between your quilting stitches of up to, wow, about 25 centimeters, which is pretty good. So today I am going to spray baste as much as I can. Hopefully I have enough. It's sort of like half full, but I do have some basting pins from Somo that I've got to hand if I need them, and we'll also sort of like test them out. I'm also going to test out the big tailoring shears that Somo sent me. These are the big 10-inch ones, and from what I can remember from like my Spotlight retail knowledge, the sort of like bigger scissors like this, they're really great for like thick fabric, so cutting through batting, cutting through denims, canvases, you know, just really thick sort of layers. So I'm going to use them to cut the batting and see what they're like. And then I also have the little squeeze snips, the ones that look like really scary tweezers, but then have the little blades on the top. I'm going to test them out on like stray threads and stuff like that and see how they go. So with all of that introduced and said, I'm going to do some pressing. I need to press the quilt top and also the backing fabric as well, and then we'll get basting. Happy days. Let's do it. Okay my friends, it's a little bit later on in the afternoon and the quilt is ready to be spray basted. I did come across a bit of an issue, which is why it's taking me a little bit longer than what I thought it would to get it to this stage, I realized, and maybe I knew this, and this is maybe one of the reasons why I procrastinated over getting this done, is the backing that I have for this quilt. It was a pieced backing and it didn't end up being wide enough. I thought I made it wide enough, but it was like maybe like an inch too short, and I was just like, nah, it's not gonna fit, or the quilt top's not gonna fit the backing. So I had to do a little bit of an adjustment and add on a little bit to make it wider. So I'll show you what I mean. So here is our lovely quilt ready to be basted. I did press it, but only really like quite quickly, so it's a little bit crinkly, but I'm not worried about that. But this is our pieced backing. I love this fabric, and I didn't end up having enough of it because I just think it matches perfectly with this bright sort of colorful jewels. I just love it. But yeah, I didn't have enough of it, so I had to make a pieced backing. So I've got 2 pieces of this fabric on either side, so you can see that there, and then I pieced some more of these trees for the back, but that didn't end up being wide enough for the quilt top. So on the other side, you can sort of see it sticking out there at the top. Today I added on another strip of fabric just to make it just that little bit wider. It was only like maybe this too much short, maybe not even, but I added a little bit more just so it was nice and safe, and so that this sort of doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, because I don't have this fabric anywhere else on the quilt. I'm going to use this fabric as my binding. I think that kind of ginghamy, kind of black and white sort of suits it, goes with it, and will sort of really nicely frame off the quilt, I think. So after having to faff over all that stuff for the backing, we're now ready to baste. And then after that, we're ready to start quilting. Gosh. So I'm going to pop some good music on, and we're just going to do it. We're going to get her done. Get her done. So basting is all done. I think I did a pretty crap job at it, but you know, it's done. It'll do. I don't think it's really going to move that far, I don't think. Now I just have to try and figure out how I'm going to quilt it. I was going to do like a plaid type straight line quilting design, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. I will definitely have to use my clover hair marker. So this little doodle-lappy tool, use this to mark lines on the top of the quilt, and I'll use that as like my guide. But I've just got to figure out what I'm going to do. I still really do like the plaid idea because 1, it's quick, and 2, like, you know, Christmas plaid and stuff, and it's straight line quilting, which I'm good at, which I love doing, and I think it's going to look effective. It's just figuring out how to do it, you know. So so I might just sort of stand here and ponder and look at it for a bit and wait till something sparks. It's usually what I do, but don't worry, I will keep you updated and check in when I know what I'm doing. Okay, I think I've made a decision. I think this is what we're going to go with. I know it doesn't really look very much, but it's going to look good once it's like all together. I'm going to do 2 lines like this, a large gap in between, and then the same 2 lines, and then hopefully another 2 lines going parallel with a gap, and it will start sort of looking like a plaid type design. So to get these lines, I'm relying heavily on all of the lines on my ruler. So the way that I'm going to do it is put the 45-degree line here along the edge of the quilt, and then mark my line with my hair marker, and then using the lines on the ruler, that's how much I'll sort of space them out. So I will put this line here on the line that I've just marked to make sure that the spaces are the same width, and then I'll mark again, and then this gap between this line and this line is from the edge to this dark mark here. And then once I put the 45-degree line on the edge of the quilt, and this line is in the right place. I go zhuzh and mark that line, and then I mark the next line at that mark on my ruler that I showed you before, and then zhuzh, resulting in a pattern like that. So once I do it all this way along the quilt, we will turn it around and do the opposite way, so then we get our plaid design. So hopefully my sort of like off-the-cuff description of what I'm doing, sort of, you kind of can follow along and get. I really find that this large long ruler, this is a what is this? This is a 60 centimeter ruler. Is really great for marking out long lines on quilts, and then also using my little hair marker to mark my lines. If I was using my old machine, I would definitely use my walking foot along with my guide bar that I could just insert into my walking foot. But on the machine that I use now, my Brother PQ 1500 SL, which is just a straight stitch machine, the guide bar doesn't really quite work with the walking foot. It all sort of connects differently, so I can't use a guide bar, unfortunately. So this is the way that I have to do it to be able to use my big sewing machine with the big throat space. And yeah, it just is what it is. I kind of quite like it because it gives me a break from sitting down. I can get up and sort of reassess things, and yeah, just make sure I'm sort of going on the right track. But let's get started. This way of quilting is going to be very faffy. I think it's going to take a while. Definitely not going to finish it today, but we'll just, you know, take one stitch at a time, one line at a time, and yeah, with patience and determination, we'll get this done. We'll get it done, I promise. Okay, so the first 2, 4, 6, 8 lines have been done, and this is kind of the vibe we're going for. Just imagine another double line going that way, and yeah, I think it should be good. Happy days. So I'm going to do my best to carry on with this a little bit more tomorrow. I have a cake to make tomorrow for Amelia's birthday on Monday, and yeah, that's pretty much the day tomorrow. So we should be able to get a little bit more done on this, which is very exciting. It's coming along. I'm so happy that it's on its way. Like, it's started, and yeah, there's no going back now. Alright, my friends, let's do Advent for the day. We're on day 3, and I think we should swap it up a little bit today, and we'll do labels first. Right, so we did 24, 23, we're up to day 22. Remember, this is a countdown one, so it feels a little bit weird doing door 22, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. So 22 has a lovely yellow sundress on it. Perfect for our Christmas. Ooh, rip away the paper. Ooh, that's pretty fun. Here are our next 2 labels. Party outfit. I love that. You know, now I'm gonna have to try and find a pattern for like a dress or something to make for a party, and then have a party to go to, you know, because, you know, I don't go anywhere. But that's really sweet. I really like them. In the tin they go. Oh my god, it's been such a long day. Quilt making is tiring. People don't tell you that, but you know, it can be quite exhausting. I think I'm going to sleep well tonight. Let's do our beautiful fabric calendar from the Stitch Saloon. If I can open the box, that is. There we go. So reminder, these are our first 2, day 1, day 2. And we'll see what we have for day 3. I love opening brown paper packages. I feel very like Sound of Music, you know. La 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 la. Ooh! It is. Oh, it's got little crosses on it too. Oh, this is lovely. This one has a selvage but no info on it, but that's okay. So this one almost looks like a really nice muslin-y type fabric. The weave is a little bit more open than a usual sort of like homespun, but then it has these really nice subtle crosses woven into the actual weave. Pretty cool. And it's this really nice, lovely, subtle peachy pink. Oh, see what I mean? Look at those nice subtle crosses, and it's like a really open type weave, so it must be some sort of like quilter's muslin, I think. That's really nice. See what I mean by these beautiful, neutral, calming colors? Wow. These people that curate bundles are just geniuses. Like, that just works so well already. I love it. What am I going to make with these? What a question. I do have my eye on some of the pen and paper patterns that have just come out. They are so clever and so beautiful. There's a sampler that I saw that is very tempting to make. So, I may have to do a nice sort of like neutral version of it, but we'll see. Thank you very much, Claire, for that beautiful piece of fabric in your bundle. I can't wait to open tomorrow and see just more of this bundle just unfold in front of my eyes. Yes, but anyway, thank you all so much for joining me today for whatever the vlog was. I am very excited about this quilt. It is going to be really faffy and annoying doing those lines, but it's going to be worth it. I just know it. I just have to like keep that in mind. It's like the end goal, that it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be a beautiful quilt, and it's going to look really lovely on my bed. I've decided that this is going to be like my Christmas quilt for my bed at Christmas time. It's going to look beautiful. So with that, I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 4. Jeez, it's gonna go quick, guys. Just gotta, you know, savor it while we can. But anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.